So today we're talking about how to make 90s hip hop beats. And by the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap to creating your own signature sound. Imagine yourself wanting to make a beat, but just haven't figured out that first step yet. Forget the frustration of endless searching. What if the solution was simpler than you thought? You're here because you have that creative spark. If you're ready to take that first step towards turning your musical vision into reality, this video is for you. You ever see these videos and thought to yourself, I can't do that, that's too hard, I'm not that talented? Well, the good news is, I use a 3-step formula that has nothing to do with talent. It's a skill you can learn. So I want you to forget those limiting beliefs for a moment and consider what you could achieve with the right formula. Isn't it a relief to know that you don't need to have talent to create great music? That means you can do it. Many successful producers, including myself, started off just like you, with the desire to create. My goal is to take you from wherever you're currently at and then level you up. By the end of this video, you're gonna get what you need today. So I want you to forget about any past attempts that didn't quite work. This will be different. This video will guide you to make beats you're proud of. I'm gonna show you a 3-step proven formula that I use when I make a beat. And this formula changed the game for me, and it'll also change the game for you. My name is
Fifth Seal.
Fifth Seal. You're checking out Fifth Seal right now.
You're hanging out with Fifth Seal.
Boy McMillie right here kicking it with Fifth Seal. You already know. Chilling with my man Fifth Seal.
Fifth Seal.
Fifth Seal. Fifth Seal.
You watching Fifth Seal, man. It's the Chocolate Boy on the beat. Rock.
I've been making beats since the 90s. I have millions of streams, and I even produced a beat for a Super Bowl commercial that played on your TV for 2 years straight. Check it out.
What up, this Lupe Fiasco. You're watching the Pepsi Max NFL Audible. They go forever back to the days of Buckets and Nitsky was simply on this planet just to run blank. Cue the violins for the losers, a bruise to the ego, a Super Bowl ring is being repoed. For more, go to NFL.com/Pepsi Audible.
So, are you ready to learn how to make 90s boom bap beats? So let's get into the 3-step formula that was handed down to me by the greats. Think of all the legendary producers who shaped the sound of the 90s. They all follow this 3-step formula. Step 1, do not skip this step. It's the foundation for 90s boom bap beats. Everything you do will be built on this step. When I first wanted to make beats, I thought beats were made by a person banging on these pads like a drummer, just making a really good pattern and then looping it over and over. That's how I thought beats were first made. But in reality, it was the complete opposite. So I want you to put aside any ideas that you might have heard about this topic just for a moment and take a listen to one of hip-hop's greatest production duo and see what they have to say about this.
So buck them down and
all 6
got the
bars.
props and
All on the
I got you
constant
open.
It's no programming, it's all loops.
Right. It's all loops.
Yeah, everything on there, there's no programming on that, it's just all loops. The drum loop 1, drum loop 2, noise, main loop. Loop number 1, that's loop number 1, loop this up. Okay, stop right there. Okay, here's the second part, loop this up. Stop right there, put that on top of that, on beat. And loop number 3, okay, here we go, put that on top of there, and right there, like exactly like we was directing everything.
So check out this example of a song they produced using the exact 3-step formula. And the foundation of these loops that they were talking about is literally
Taking the break beats,
The break beats, the break beats, the break beats.
Break beats.
make beats out of them shits.
That was amazing to me. That changed hip hop. Hip hop. Hip hop. Hip hop.
If you don't know what a breakbeat is, it's literally a break in the song where all the music stops playing except the drums. And this is the foundation we're gonna build on for making 90s boom bap beats. And I even made a whole video on it just for you.
What's a breakbeat?
A breakbeat is exactly what the word says. It's a break in the song, usually a drum break. Now I want you to check out this song that I produced using the exact 3-step formula.
You see your song ain't really down to map on it. Who mind weaker, the house or the house speaker? And where would Nas and Jay-Z be without ether? Which one you think want that repeat? I doubt either. How many people still won't see it? Cal Lever.
All right, let's get into the beat. After I'm done playing it, we're gonna deconstruct it and take it apart together, showing you the 3-step formula I use on all my beats. Check it out. So the first step I use for making 90s boom bap beats is the drums. This is where I start and everything gets built up from here. So let's get into the drums. This is one of my favorite break beats. It's from a group called The Whatnots. The name of the song is called Why Can't People Be Colors Too? 99% of all the drums I use are from break beats, but there's 1% that's not. And that 1% is the thing that gives your 99% life. So you have to use it together in order for the 99% to work correctly. It's kind of like the heart in your body. It's 1% of you, but without it, the 99% won't work. Does that make sense? So I'll show you exactly how it works in step 3. All right, so step 2 is the sample. Check it out. All right, so I took that sample, threw it on a pad. So it's a 1-bar piano loop, and I looped it for 2 bars. Here's what I mean. So now I got that piano loop going, and I'm gonna use step 1, the breakbeat, and I'm gonna take step 2, which is the sample, and put them together. So I'm gonna have the sample and the drums, which is the breakbeat, right now. And that's it. It's fun, it's simple, and it's easy. Now, let me stop that real quick. Now, before we get into step 3, I want to give you a really quick, fun bonus tip. Check it out. Here's a bonus tip. So the sample doesn't necessarily mean you have to go digging for the sample either. I'll show you what I mean. Sometimes I'll take a sample like this, find the key that it's in, and play out chords over the sample. Then I'll take out the sample, shift the notes around, creating my own melody. Let me show you what I mean. So now that I played the chords over the sample, I'm gonna mute out the sample. Let's get rid of the sample and just hear the chords without the sample. So we have 3 really basic chords from that sample. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna grab a couple of notes from each chord and bring them up an octave to see how that sounds. All right, still sounds really basic. So I'm gonna do the same thing again, except I'm gonna grab a couple notes from each chord and bring them down an octave. Sounds a little better. Now I wanna kinda create this melody by grabbing a note from each chord and shifting it over to the right just a little bit to see if we could create a melody. So now I'm gonna grab the bottom note of each chord, copy it, and bring it down an octave to give each chord a fuller sound. making progress, but we're still missing something. And to me, that's reverb and delay. And I'm gonna add that on right now and see what we come up with. All right, I really like how that sounds. Now, the final and last step to test this process out, I'll usually grab an acapella from another song and put it on top of the beat and hear how that sounds. So let's try that and see what we come up with.
Good dude, I know you love me like cook food, even though a nigga gotta move like a crook move. We was together on the block since free lunch. We should have been together having Four Seasons brunch. We used to use umbrellas to face the bad weather. So now we travel first class to change the forecast.
Now, this was an advanced step for another video, but I just wanted to plant that seed and show you how far we can take it. For now, let's just stick with using samples. Now, if you're wondering where to get samples from, you're in the right place because I have you covered. I made a monthly newsletter for you, and it's kind of like PlayStation Plus. Every month, PlayStation gives you a free game. Well, that's exactly what I did. So when you sign up to the newsletter, you'll get a sample pack right now, and you'll get a fire sample every month to level you up. Okay, let's get into this sample pack. All right, so you're gonna get those drums, you're gonna get that sample, and I'm gonna give you my drum program with the MIDI notes as well. So what do I mean by that? Check it out. I will mute the sample and I'll show you what the MIDI notes look like right here. So these are the MIDI notes you will get along with the program as well. Check it out. Cool. All right, you're gonna get those drums that I programmed, and you're gonna get the MIDI notes as well. So here's the next batch of drums and samples that you'll be getting in the sample pack as well. Check it out. Step 3 is layering. Now, this is that 1% I was talking about earlier that will level up your drums and beat to that 100% that it needs to be at. It's a small part, but if it's missing, your beat will sound cold and dead. Now, the opposite is also true. When you start layering your drums, it makes them feel warm and alive. Let me show you what I mean. Check this out. That was Naughty by Nature's Everything Is Gonna Be Alright, produced by KG. And KG used step 3, which is layering, perfectly. He took a kick, snare, and tambourine or sleigh bell and layered them all together right over the drum break perfectly. Check it out. So the first 2 bars is KG's drum programming: kick, snare, tambourine. Then the next 2 bars, you hear KG's kick, snare, and tambourine right on top of the drum break. And you'll notice the drum break because you hear this hissing sound right on top of his drums. Let's run it back again. So now, let's just play the original drum break without any layering, just to hear how it sounds. Now that was the same drum break that KG used on Naughty by Nature's Everything Is Gonna Be Alright. But we didn't use step 3 on it, which is layering. Here's With It. And here's Without It. So now you see how important step 3 is. It's a small 1%, but it brings a big change to your drums and beat. Here's another example from my own beat. I did exactly what KG did, but in reverse. I played the drum break first, then I layered my kick, snare, and hi-hats second. Check it out. Now we know how to layer drums, but we're not done yet. Did you know we could also layer samples? It's fun, it's easy, and I'm gonna show you how to do it right now. So let's get into layering samples. It's super fun, it's easy, and I have the beat loaded up. So that was the beat in its entirety. But let's pick it apart and I'm gonna show you exactly how I layered my sample. So here goes the main sample. Right, it's a 1-bar sample. So what I did is I took this sample right here and I copied it to this pad right here, right? It's the same exact sample, but all I did was remove the high frequencies. It's called a low pass filter, and it's exactly what it says. It allows the lows to pass. That's it right there. And all I did was play the original sample. And I play this at the exact same time. And that's it, layering samples. Check it out, here they are layered together. Soloed. Now I'm gonna take the sample out and just keep the low pass. You hear that? That's it. And it's fun. I really have fun and enjoying this process, doing this all the time. All right, let's play the drums. Let's go with the whole thing. All right, let's take it out. So that's it. This concludes step 3, layering. Layering your drums, layering your samples, and it's really fun. I have fun doing it. It's easy and simple to do, but I still have another bonus for you. So before we get into the last and final bonus part of this video, we've covered step 1, which is the breakbeat, step 2, which is sampling, and step 3, which is layering. That's that small 1% that gives life to the 99%. And that's the 3-step formula on how to make 90s boom bap beats. This 3-step formula will work even if you don't have an MPC. Even if all you have is a laptop with FL Studio, Ableton, even GarageBand. You can take these principles and put them into practice right away, no matter what platform you're using. That's why Pete Rock could use an SB1200, or the RZA, he can use an ASR10. And the Beatminerz, they literally sampled loops on a cassette tape.
It's no programming, it's all loops.
Right, it's all loops.
Yeah, everything on there's no programming on that, it's just all loops.
Using the exact 3-step formula to jumpstart their musical careers. And I believe you can do the exact same thing that they did and even more. Okay, are you ready for the final bonus part of this video? Because I am, and I'm really excited to share this with you. Now I'm gonna get on a phone with someone that used this exact 3-step formula that got him millions of streams.
Helicopters posted up on nigga vodka. Take a sip of vodka, roll the Ella, hold the Glock for.
Say I never make it, now your label wanna side with me. Mad real, moved it with my granny out in Brownsville. The projects, home a trunk, send me in the trunk with the 30 clip.
And toured all around the world.
It was able to take me all around the world. From Japan, throughout North America, throughout Canada, throughout South America, Brazil, the Caribbean islands, Europe, Africa, Asia.
And all he had at the time was an old beat-up laptop using FL Studio, using this 3-step formula. All right, let's call my dude Shadow.
Yo.
Shadow, what's
good,
man?
Fifth? What up, man? Everything good? Chilling? I'm in the crib cooking.
Yeah, I got a quick question for you. When you start off making your beats, what's your process? Where do you go to first? Like step one, where do you go?
You know we got to start with the breaks. Got to start with the break beat. Yeah, so I start with a break beat. That's step one. And then I'll chop my sample to the break, you know, and then I'll add drums on top of the break. You know, I'll start layering, find another kick to put under the kick of the break, find another snare to lay on top of the snare of the break, and do the same thing. And, you know, if the hi-hats aren't loud enough on the break, then I'll add my own hi-hats and I'll add my own percussions and all of that stuff. But that's my process. It's really nothing crazy.
Where'd you get your first drum breaks from?
You know where I got my first drum breaks was from you, actually. You gave me drums back in like 2009, back when I was in high school. You know, you had gave me some drums. Here y'all say like, yo, use the drum breaks as a skeleton to the beat and then add on top of it. Like, what do you prefer? Chopping up the break or keeping it and adding onto it?
I usually keep the break. Like the song we did, Here's How It Goes.
Yeah.
That's a break and I lay it on top of it. So that's a drum break. And everything on top of that, on top of those drums, I lay it underneath the kicks. There's like a low end kick. The newer generation would call it an 808. And then you have layered snares on top of that break beat. And I would always start, 99% of my beats are a drum break. And then step 2 is the sample. And then step 3 is that I layer everything underneath those drums. So step 1 is the drum break. Step 2 is the sample. And step 3 is the layer.
When you put it that way, those breaks are canvas, and everything else that we put on the break is our piece. No one ever really said that to me. Like, yo, this break is gonna be the canvas of your beat, and just work around the break.
If you made it this far, you're exactly who I made this video for. That means you're serious about leveling up. I respect that. That's why I'm opening up one-on-one coaching calls for those few committed producers that want that real-time feedback, step-by-step guidance. Whether you're stuck on drum programming or sampling, or you always wanted to make a beat, but just haven't figured out that first step yet. This is for you. I've set up a waiting list for you to join while this channel is still small and growing. So that means you're getting in early when there's still time for real connection and hands-on support. I want you to tap the link in the description so you get on the list before spots fill up.
I don't think niggas know, like, them breaks, like the cats that was around me at the time, they're like, yeah, it's hard, but it's like, nah, bro, like, those break, it's not, we didn't do nothing to the break. Like, that break brought us with it, if that makes sense. Like, that break took us places. When we was making those records, when we was using those breaks to make those songs like Shinobi Wars, like Halsey Street Kids, those songs got a lot of good feedback from not just my city, but around the world, cities everywhere. Like, I had those epiphanies sometimes, like, yo, bro, these breaks that we rapped on is legendary before we was even born. You know what I mean? And the fact that we touched it in our generation, it's like we brought life to it again.
Fire.
Through this generation. And then that break was able to live on again and again and again and again. It's the foundation. And rapping on those songs, making beats with those drummers' music, it was able to take me all around the world, from Japan, throughout North America, throughout Canada, throughout South America, Brazil, the Caribbean islands, you know, Europe, Africa, Asia. They showed us love because what we did with those breaks, us getting down to those breaks, you know, us rhyming over those breaks, you know, and us expressing our art.
All right, go ahead. Test it out. Test it out. Looking good. Looking good. Sounds good. All right. Cool.